What's up, guys, and welcome to the Biohacking Secrets Show. We are here with Gerard Powell at Rythmia, and we're going to be discussing how to overcome addictions, mood challenges, and heal your heart.
Fantastic.
Jerry, thanks for doing the show.
I'm so thrilled to be here. I am. Yeah.
We're thrilled to be here. This place is magical.
I think.
Seriously.
I hope that that's how you feel today.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, last night I came to the stark realization that I know nothing.
Isn't it funny stuff to learn? I tell you.
Yeah. So to give our audience a little bit of a backstory, take us back 5 years to where you were in your life. And that'll help people understand.
No worries. Yeah. I was in a terrible spot. I was addicted to injectable Demerol. I was an alcoholic, a drug addict, cocaine, sex addict, all kinds of crazy stuff. Terribly unhappy. Financially in great shape. I was in great shape. I had sold a company for almost $100 million, so I was okay. And
it's pretty good shape.
It's good shape.
Yeah.
You know, it's what I call good shape. Yeah. And but I was suicidal. I had tried to commit suicide 2 times. My family wasn't talking to me, and it was just the lowest point in my life. Or was it the lowest point? Right up there with the lowest points. There were many low points in my life. And I was suicidal again, and my psychologist, who you'll meet here, Jeff, that you guys already met, Dr. Jeff,
that's great,
told me that I had to do something. And I took a vacation to the Philippines, and through happenstance, I reconnected with somebody who told me about plant medicine and about a specific place to do it. And I flew from the Philippines to LA and then down to Costa Rica, and I did plant medicine, and I had an experience where it's the craziest thing, but I went to the moon, and I was shown videos of but they were live videos, like the activity was here, and yet I could come around from all sides, right? And I saw myself being molested as a boy by my grandfather, and that changed everything. So in that first experience, the medicine told me who I had become, that I was a liar, a cheater, a conniver, a general bad guy. And once I admitted that, my soul emerged, and I actually merged back with my soul by agreement. And I had to agree that I'd take my soul with me everywhere for the rest of my life, and that all decisions have to be run by my soul. Crazy stuff, but I agreed to it. and then it came the moon, which these people don't even know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Say the moon? Okay, fucking we're off. The moon gave me...
Hang in there, guys.
The moon gave me a new heart. Yeah. So these 3 things, that seeing who I become, merging back with my soul, and getting my heart healed. And when I was done that week, it told me to go buy a place, how to do it, and I actually, it's the first person I ever listened to my whole life, because it was my badge of honor that I didn't do anything I was told, right? And I listened to what was said there to a T, and I've done everything to a T, and now since then, there's been 5,000 people through here, and each one of them, not each one, 94% have had, see who they become, merged back with their soul, and had their heart healed. And that's why it's crazy, but if you go to TripAdvisor, we are the #1 customer rated resort in the world of any type.
Really?
Yeah, because people come out of here with a new heart. You don't get that at the Ramada, right? Like it's a whole different thing, you know?
It is true.
Yeah, it's a whole different thing. So that happened to me, and that was in July of 2014. We opened the doors here in February of 2016. I bought the place 2 months after July, but it took us a year to get licensed and to do renovations and construction and junk. And then we opened then, and now it's just a system. You know, it's a program, right? You guys are in it. And it has a very consistent result.
Yeah. It is an amazing system that you built. Like,
it's crazy, right?
Just clockwork.
Yeah,
you know where to go.
clockwork.
There's classrooms, you know, where you put to practice the things that you're learning with the medicine. Then there's, you know, dance parties, yoga, breath work. Like, it's got great food, organic food. There's pool, hot tub, gym.
Yeah,
like
it's the whole thing.
Yeah, I see why people.
The cleanse.
Oh, the cleanse.
Yeah.
Have you been in the cleanse?
I've done 2 cleanses.
Have you done them?
I did one and canceled the second one.
I'm going to tell you when you should do it. Do it after tonight.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because all of those toxins are going to be shaken out. It's a great time to do it. Like, do it Friday or Saturday is a great time.
Yeah, I just did it too early into the ceremony, and I was like gassy, and poor people next to me, I was like full air and bubbling up.
How nice.
Oh, how nice, yeah.
Jerry, what type of people seek out what you guys do here at Rythmia? Like, what challenges are they dealing with? What symptoms are they dealing with?
Well, first there's like this socioeconomic thing. We have like pro sports people, actors, actresses, musicians, all have been here. Clerical workers, carpenters, like, and once they get here, everybody's the same. Like, honestly, like, I tell you, when somebody big is here, they're just another person on a mat, and they actually come for that to be treated fucking normal, right? But what do they come here for? I'd say 70% of the people come here have just a lack of satisfaction in their life. They're spiritual searchers. They're unsatisfied, or haven't got the answers in church, or haven't got the answers in psychology, haven't got the answers here, and they're looking for something else. Then there's a subcategory of people who are super depressed or addicted. And let's say that's 30%. Yeah. And the great thing is they all come in at different places and they all leave in the same place. It's all amazing, actually.
Yeah, there's so many components that drive happiness. It's like, you know, where's your life at? Are you living your purpose? There's a chemical component.
Yep.
There's a spiritual harmony component.
I believe that.
And I feel like all of those are being addressed here, and then compounded with the tribe.
Yes.
That's created. Like,
and what a tribe.
There's moments where I'll look around and we'll be in a group conversation with like some of the greatest people I've ever met.
I agree. Yeah.
And I'm like, this is just as powerful as the medicine.
It's
like it's all working together.
Oh my God, it's crazy.
Yeah.
That synergy that happens, that and the fact that, I tell you what this place has done for me, it's completely restored my faith in humanity. Yeah. That I get to see such beautiful people, right? And that actually their beauty permeates from inside. By the time, and they're concerned enough to face themselves. So you take the population, the majority of the population never wants to get there. They never want to get in a position where it's just me and me. Really, I mean, they might sit in meditation, they might do this, but to really have something that enters in you, that points you directly back to yourself, your shadow, your everything. Man, it takes a lot of guts to do that, right? That's a lot to chew for someone. You know?
Yeah.
Oh, facing yourself is the most difficult thing.
It's the thing.
And you don't really realize until you're having a light shined on who you've become, how much you've been avoiding it.
I agree. It's crazy, right?
We are so good at BSing ourselves.
Yeah.
And to a degree where we don't even realize we're BSing ourselves.
Yeah. No, well, if you really follow that backwards, that goes back to the split. If you really follow that backwards, what's the first lie that I told myself? I'm going to be okay. Huh? Somebody abandoned me at 3 years old, or fucked with me, or can I say F? Sorry about that.
Go for it.
Did something bad to me.
Let it rip.
At 3 years old, you have no choice but to say, that didn't bother me, I'm going to be okay. And now you build on that your whole life. And you go backwards to that thing and realize that everything after that has kind of been a lie. And then, you know, that hurt the shit out of me. You know, that near killed me, right? And then to say it, and then to go forward and walk, because as soon as you shine light on that, it's healed, right? And then all of a sudden now you're new, and you make an agreement to stay in truth. Wow. And what a life you'll lead. Yeah. Like a life in truth is a crazy life, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Because it's sweet.
Yeah.
It is sweeter. Yeah.
And what I found interesting is when you said, what's coming is going.
Yeah.
Because if it's coming up, you're like, you want to fight it.
Exactly.
You know? But you have to realize it's the process. You have to trust the process.
Yeah.
If it's coming up, it's going and leaving you.
Yeah.
You know, for me personally, like I touched on some of my traumas as a kid last night.
Sure.
And I was looking for this big magical healing. But what I realized is I'm just at peace.
And that's
with that.
beautiful.
Like I just forgave.
Isn't
I forgave
that
myself.
easier?
I forgave them.
Boom.
Moved.
Done.
Yeah.
On to the next.
Yeah, it's like it didn't have to be so complicated.
It's well, isn't it the craziest shit that when you're done, it's hysterical. When you're finished, you look back and go, "How the fuck couldn't I see that I had my shoes on the wrong feet? Like I walked around for 50 years with the shoes on the wrong feet. Like how it's crazy.
Yeah,
and it's something that simple. That holy God, and what isn't that divinity in action like that? That I saw that and realized I didn't even need any of it. It's like Dorothy at the end of the fucking thing. Oh, I could go home all the time? Yeah. Crazy shit, huh?
Yeah. You come to realize that being in survival mode is in direct conflict with living your potentiality.
Yes.
And survival is priority number one.
Yep.
You know, when we have either a trauma or really anything, it's our genes, our soul, our body's number one objective is stay alive.
Survive.
You know, just survive.
Sure.
But if we don't look at where we're at from a different perspective, similar to the way that we look at someone else and like their life could be in turmoil and you're like, that's tough, but it's not that bad. You're going to be okay.
Right.
But we don't do that with ourselves.
Right.
When it's like this, we turn mountains into molehills.
Yep.
And this sort of just changes your vantage point, and you're like, it's not that big of a deal.
Not once you accept it, right?
Yeah.
So you spend your whole life trying to not look at it, and then you look at it, and it was the monster in the bed was a dust bunny. It was nothing.
There was one of the greatest insights that I had the second night was. My dad has Parkinson's.
Oh, that's rough.
And you mentioned something about one of the women that had Parkinson's and had come here, and just by being touched and being around people and sharing, her tremors were stopping and she was improving in a short period of time, and a light bulb went off. And then that night I drank the medicine and I laid down, and my first experience with the mother, she grabbed me and ripped me back to when I was 5 years old. And my brother, who's here and is now 33, was being born. And my parents dropped me off at my grandmother's house, my dad's mom. And I remember being in bed, wailing and crying the entire night. I'd never felt that alone and unloved and cold. And so she was like, do you remember how you felt that night? And I was like, yeah. And even with my grandmother in bed with me, it was like there was a world between us.
Yeah.
And she said, that feeling was every day of your father's life.
Wow.
What is going on with him is not to be micromanaged through chemistry and biohacking and seeing tons and tons of doctors. The root cause of what your father's experiencing is a love deficit.
Isn't that the truth? Huh?
And it just made complete sense.
And tell him also that your mom had the same thought that night.
That's how it works.
Like, come on, you can't make this shit up.
But that is how it works. You know that is exactly how it works, because you enter in the dimension of allness, and you can't think of something without it affecting a person you have a vibrational connection to. But I want to ask you something about your dad, if you don't mind.
Sure.
So isn't the understanding of our perpetrator, whoever was the perp in the thing, the understanding of them, when you see it from their side, there's not only forgiveness, there's thanks. So not only have you forgiven whatever there, but grateful that this man lived and helped you. And isn't it beautiful shit?
It's so beautiful, and you realize that we are all just evolving souls.
Yes.
And some of that is an evolution from the generation that came before us. You know, I look at my grandfather and I see that his entire life until the day he died was in survival mode. And then
was he Depression era person?
Yes.
But that was part and parcel of the era.
Landscaping company, 8 kids, basically
building
his workforce. Had him all landscaping at 5 years old.
And I'm sure he was a guy who didn't have a lot of. I mean, dude, when you're in survival mode at that level, you're trying to build something. Probably compassion isn't leading the way at that point, right?
So Jerry, for someone who's hearing this, can we describe a little bit about what plant medicine could do to benefit them, or what type of experience they may come to expect? And I know there's tremendous variation.
There's a big variation in that, right? And I'm not. I hope you get to meet with Dr. Jeff while you're here.
We will,
because he is more of the scientific thing. I'm more of what happened to my heart, you know. But what can happen is that in a minute. See, I had a problem. I had a shit ton of money, and I had a desire to do whatever the fuck I wanted to do. So what did I want to do? Cocaine, lots of women, and I mean lots of women. Like, it was crazy, right? And with
I can only imagine.
With unlimited money, it was just, you know, that was my thing. And then to go to some Demerol, and then heroin, and then this whole craziness. And I realized that there was no way I could stop doing anything, because I was a person who would do anything I wanted to do, right? A lot of people stop doing what they're doing because they can't. You know, if they're a regular guy in a regular marriage with kids and works at a bank and can't go out and fly their plane to pick up strippers and go to whatever the fuck, they're kind of stuff. But I had the ability to do within my budget whatever I wanted to do.
Yeah.
So what was interesting with plant medicine is that it simply changed what I wanted to do. It's very hard to tell someone to stop doing it.
Yeah.
Stop doing it. But if you change their
especially
heart,
someone who takes pride in doing
whatever they want to do,
yeah,
right? You know. But I notice most people can. If you take a look at, and nothing against AA, but if you take a look at alcoholics who are quitting drinking against their own nature, they turn into these really angry people a lot of times, right? But if you change their nature, this is the gift that I don't know can be replicated in other therapies. I've never seen it. But the medicine has the ability to change your heart's desire. So, and I've never seen that in anything else. I've never seen talk therapy do it. I've seen hypnosis, like deep hypnosis, do it, but not for long, you know. But I see plant medicine actually change. And if there was a way to look at your cellular composition, I'm going to guarantee you, and not with tools that we have at the moment, but I'm going to guarantee you that your whole person changed. And when that happens, you don't walk around saying, "No, don't show me alcohol because I'll go." You're like, "Oh fuck, it's a bar. I don't feel anything." It's not like, you know, it's not, none
the
of
urge
this
is
stuff.
gone.
The urge is gone. It takes the urge to do anything away. And then if you take a person, because people are basically good. This is what I've learned. People are basically good. That you take that person, you change how they feel, the next thing you know, their life gets better and it perpetuates. Holy shit, it's nice to not be drunk.
Yeah.
It's nice to not have to shop for something every 10 minutes to feel good. It's nice to not have to work every minute, to spend some time with my family, to
be present.
It just gets better and better and better. And that's the thing. What can you expect? The hardest time in your life. Like, this is really what to expect. If I say to someone, you know, I like to pretty it up.
I'm struggle city right now.
Everybody struggles, but the thing is, what makes this a little bit better? I did medicine in the jungle, and I was getting crawled on by creepy crawlers and fucking things you don't know if they're real or not real till you pick them.
I had a scorpion on me last night.
That's a great sign.
On my neck.
That's a good sign. I want to talk about that in a minute.
Okay.
That's the wind of change. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And scorpions down here aren't that. It's not like a United States scorpion, right? It's like a bee sting. But still, in the jungle, you'd be amazed at what's fucking floating around down there, right? I'm worried about that. I'm fucking hearing bats going by me. I'm like, what the fuck am I doing here? You know, at least here you get a clean mattress, a clean bucket, a clean floor, a clean. When you're done, you go get a massage, and not like.
Yeah. It's great massages
but
too.
what do you expect? If you're 30 years old. 30 years worth of damage coming to the forefront and being released. Mm-hmm. That's a hard thing to say to someone. People try to pretty it up. They say, oh, well, you know what? It is hard. It is hard. But what's better? Having 30 years of damage get healed in a night or buckling up and going through another 30 years of damage? Mm-hmm. I got to tell you, I'm a guy that can make that trade.
Yeah.
I'd rather have a little bit hard, quick, and then smoother sailing than keep going, because at the time I did medicine, I was ready to die. I had enough of what my life was like, you know, and some of the people are like that here that come here and they're ready to die, but most people are just fucking frustrated with the way shit is going. They're just like, okay, and I'm have everything else right in life because, you know, they're a job, they're gainfully employed, have a family, have a car, have the shit that 90% of the world does not have. You know, they're making more than $2 a day. Like they have the shit nailed down, and yet they're dissatisfied, and that is its own hell, right?
I resonate with that.
Yeah,
and
it's its own hell.
and like. One of the other things that she showed me was that I was expecting, when you said show me who I've become, there was a part of me that was like, oh God, I don't know if I want to know. Like I was afraid that there was going to be this big unveiling, and instead she was like, you're good.
Yes.
The problem is not that you've become something bad. The problem is that you are addicted to self-criticism.
There you are. So
like,
that's
you're
the truth.
Creating the situation with
100%.
your mindset, and you believe that by focusing on what you're bad at, it's going to make you better.
Yes.
But it doesn't work like that. It just eats away at you from the inside.
Yeah.
And that was like the big show me who I've become.
But you know, for half the people, so here's what the populace looks like who gets here. Half the people see something worse than they think they are. Half of the people see something better than what they think they are, and they're both the same lie. They both produce the same result in life, unhappiness, right? So for you are, anybody who sees something better than what they are is a person who beats himself up constantly. That's what the medicine says. The medicine says your truth is you're better than you're treating yourself. And that is a lie too, because it produces the same thing in life. Do you want to really get intimate or in business or with somebody who doesn't see themselves and beats themselves up, fuck, they're a nightmare, generally speaking, right? You know what I mean? They're a fucking nightmare, right? Just like somebody who thinks they're great and they're great. So you want somebody that accurately assesses themselves, right? That feels good, because then when they fuck up, they say, hey, you know what, man? That's just me. I'm sorry. I'm working on that. Oh, all of a sudden now we have a relationship. And then pretending it didn't happen and all that crazy shit. Yeah.
You know what I've found interesting too is the ego. We all have it.
Oh,
you know, we all have the ego.
Yeah.
And it serves us to a point.
Yep.
But at some point you have to kill it.
Yeah, you got to
let it go. Or reorder
it. You know? Because the same thing that kept you alive as a kid is just at some point, it's like, you know, one of the best ways to explain to me is pants. Those pants kept you warm when you were 5 years old. But at about 10, they became awfully tight if you hang into the same pair of pants, right? You're getting in the Mormon Tabernacle Choir because they're too tight, right? And the thing is that as that goes, all you're doing now is shedding things that aren't serve. Now people talk about it in therapy and spiritualism and all that, and they connect, but this is really live action surgery of the things that no longer serve me are getting cut out. And boom, you feel brand new. You feel new.
Tell us a little bit about some of the common things that people see. There's there's 4 different experiences. There's the body experience, there's the Pinta experience, which is more like the visual, there's the consulta, where you're actually consulting and having a dialogue, and then there's the nada, where you kind of zonk out all night and wake up when it's over. But what I found fascinating is hearing these stories of people doing ayahuasca together in the jungle and seeing elves come out of the woods. But it's like all the people in the group are seeing it. Like you can't make that up.
Okay, so what is that? So there's only a couple theories here, and not being a scientist, but so I'm just going to give you like our little thing, surgery. So at some point when you're healed, your body wants to heal, and sometimes there's some damage that you need assistance with. So 73.82% of the time here, there's celestial surgery. So that something comes into you and says, I'm going to help you with this thing. And here's the crazy part. It's almost always done by 3 types of beings. A mechanical praying mantis, a small and large silvers beings, and then minion type beings.
When you say silvers, you mean like what we typically think of as the prototypical, stereotypical alien. Right.
And now,
the big guys, the grays, right?
The grays, And then the smaller they are, the more gray or silver they become. Almost chrome, some of the smaller ones, tiny ones. But what's amazing is that shit's been reported since the beginning of time, and it continues to be reported. And these how can everybody see the same thing? And sometimes, like, the chief of surgery is a bird like Thoth, like that birdman looking thing, and that's always around. So everybody's talking about the same. By the time they go, 70% of the people see the same shit. How can that be? Unless that shit is really there, unless on the medicine you see truth, and all of a sudden off the medicine you don't. Maybe DMT is maybe it's an interconnection between spheres. It could be a lot of things like that.
There's an entourage effect with ayahuasca that I've done DMT. I've done the Sonoran Desert Toad and traditional DMT, and never did I experience what has gone on these past few days with just DMT. And I think that, like, when we isolate things, we kind of like try to put on these like scientist pants, like we understand what's in the plants and how all of these compounds and phytonutrients work together. But we have no idea. We have absolutely no idea. Right. And to truly experience the wisdom of nature, I think there's a benefit that comes from consuming these things synergistically in their whole form.
I believe so too. Well, that's the difference between ibogaine and iboga. I mean, there's so many examples of isolated alkaloids and all these different things that work, but the balance has gone out of it. So the whole plant, I believe, brings balance, to this experience. And when you try to, like there used to be a TV commercial when I was a kid. It's not kind to screw with mother. And say screw.
You can say whatever.
But they didn't. It's not kind to mess with Mother Nature, is what it used to say. And I got to tell you what, in my experience, that has been so true. This experience that we're going through is a return to nature. It's a return to the real thing. A loincloth, the woods. Like really, holy shit.
Connected to source.
We were given a garden to live in. And what do we do? Building cities and trying to separate ourselves from the divinity of that, of this gift that was there given. And the medicine takes you right back to nature and to your own nature. That's gorgeous stuff.
It is. Now, okay, so people are listening to this and they're probably like, they're talking about aliens.
No, I swear to you, dude, when you go home, don't discuss this in Denny's because they'll put you in, you know? What's normal discussion here is crazy out in the world, you know?
And we're not expecting people listening to buy into everything.
No, my God.
What we're suggesting is temporarily suspend disbelief.
Yeah.
Well, and open your mind a little bit.
You're going somewhere.
Yes. Well, that's where I want to go because, like, for me, I didn't see any beans. Right? I haven't really had crazy colors or even.
Tune in tomorrow.
Yeah, tune in tomorrow. Okay, but I have had a consulta with myself.
That's your highest.
It was, and it was beautiful. And what I'd like to get to and extract is. People are listening to this right now, and they're probably like, well, is plant medicine right for me?
Right.
You know, like, what could you say or to someone who is on the fence? Like some qualified question.
The truth. If I would have heard this conversation 8 years ago, I'd turn that shit off and mark you all, including me, as nuts. I'd say, oh, those freaks. Like, I wouldn't have a real thing. But when your soul is ready, it's not you, it's your soul. It will hear your consciousness will hear this in a new way, and it will grab you. The one way to tell if this is resonating is if you watch this and you have questions. If you watch it and have an opinion, it's not happening. If you watch it and say, bah, bullshit. And you really mean it. It ain't ready for you. But if you watch it and there's even a question over, I don't believe that's true. Let me find out more. That's the thing. That's your soul calling you in. Yeah.
Anytime we're wishing things were different than they are, it's a form of resistance.
Yes.
And that resistance cuts off the energetic flow and our connection to the energy that is connecting all of us.
Right.
And if you're hearing something and you, I don't agree with that. That doesn't align with my mental model of the world. We're cutting ourselves off from energy.
I believe that.
Like any form of judgment.
Well, and for people listening, Jerry wrote a book called Shit the Moon Said. And if you have any questions and you don't want to necessarily call Rythmia and say, and put yourself out there yet, get his book and just learn from his story because it's fascinating, the journey you've been on. You have been on quite the ride, my friend.
Rough. This time around was a rough one. This life was a rough one.
But it's a great read. And then you also have a movie, right?
Yes.
Called
The Reality of Truth.
The Reality of Truth on YouTube.
Yep.
So we'll link all that up in the show notes.
I appreciate
for the audience. And where can they get your book?
On Amazon.
Amazon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Shit the Moon Said, Amazon, YouTube, The Reality of Truth. Like, if you have questions, get answers.
We'd love to have that. I appreciate that.
And we're going to come back to that scorpion. Let's close that.
Let's talk about scorpion. So the first thing is, and that's super rare. They told you how rare that is, right? That somebody gets a scorpion on them.
Mm-mm.
Oh my God, it's rare.
I feel so special.
But if you research, it's a sign of great change. So if you go to the medicine and ask what that scorpion was doing, it's a sign of great change. So whether you know it or not, or connected to it or not, there's huge change coming. Like when I've journeyed 260, I think 268, I think tonight I'll be 269 times in my life, and I've had one scorpion encounter. And that, dude, was right before the bow broke. Like all kinds of change was like days before the bow broke.
Wow.
So it's crazy how these little animals and I tell you, we have monkeys that come up certain times, and they mean different things when the monkeys show up. But the scorpion's a real sign of change. So I don't know if you know what that's about or not, but there's something cooking there.
You know what? I realized that it's all okay.
Yeah.
Like it really...
No, but I mean good change. It's a sign of positive change. Yeah.
Yeah, positive change, and then I just want to be the light.
Yeah,
I want to be the
You're
light
doing a
for
great job.
and I just want to exude. And that's the thing about Rythmia. You come here, and you think you're working on just yourself.
Yeah.
But you're not. You're working on it for your family, your friends,
Absolutely.
for the world. Like, it sounds woo-woo, and like, we get it. We all get it. Like, you know, like, we're all like, okay, they're all judging. But it's okay. Come to Rythmia and experience it for yourself, because that's really what it takes, is doing the work, facing yourself, tapping into source, to self, to your soul, and healing that past trauma, healing that adversity, and then sharing that light with others.
Yes, well said. Yeah. And I know this too, what you just said about that feeling of woo-woo. You know, it's like you don't understand it until you understand it. And then once you understand it, you can actually go through life like that. And then because you're vibrating that way, the things around you change to sing to it. So it's crazy. Like, people look at this and go, well, you can't. That's okay down in that place, but you can't be that way in life. And it's bullshit. That, like, the cool part about it is that having that sweetness in your life, that's the whole reason. You know, if you did this and didn't have that, it'd be crazy. You'd be like, oh, fuck, I went through all that shit and I'm back in the same shit. No, this is really life. Yeah. This is life. Yeah.
One of the things that just as a bonus before we go into the rapid fire round, you know, both my brother and I had experienced some pain, stiffness, inflammation in our bodies. Yep. And my brother, it's been 4 years for my brother. He came to me a few days ago when we were in Tamarindo before coming here, and he was like, my back is a wreck, my whole body hurts. He's like, what can I do? And I was like, okay, you're going to want to do hot yoga 2 or 3 times a week. You're going to want a sauna. I gave him this ball to like roll it out, and he was on the ball and he's like, oh, this is terrible. But then afterwards he was like, oh, it helped a little bit. You know? He's like, can I buy that ball off of you? I'll Venmo you, I'll bring it back with me. And I said, sure. He came to me after the second night and he sat down in my bed and he goes, I don't need that ball anymore.
I love that.
He goes, she healed me tonight. He goes, we went around every part of my body that was in pain, and she just pulled the pain away. And she said, she showed him, she said, Nick, this is because you've been living your whole life in fear. The fear manifests as pain and tightness, and he goes, she took it all away.
Boom.
And like, that doesn't have to do with addictions, it doesn't have to do with mood disorders, but when you're challenged by pain, inflammation, stiffness, there's a hard way to deal with it, which is like rolling yourself out on a lacrosse ball and going to the sauna 5 days a week and doing hot yoga. Or you can heal yourself with a little bit of assistance.
So can I ask you this? So you guys are in the biohacking thing, If there's a common, to me it's a fact, to other people it would be a belief, but there's an energetic reason, an emotional, energetic reason for every disease. I see it all the time. Like, there is nothing that happened unto itself. Like, I didn't get rheumatoid arthritis. One day it showed up and the next day I had it. These are all energetic, emotional things. And I really believe the name dis-ease is really real. That it is dis-ease and it's from a source. So if you believe that, and if you really believe it, and like your brother, and you went back to the thing and it gave you a fresh slate, then you can watch. I mean, I have guys throwing away cane, all kinds of like faith healer bullshit things that are actually real that I watch happen. That there's,
Well, we've been talking about the work. We've been talking about how hard it is and face to do. I want to talk about how much fun I had.
So much fun.
Because let's be honest, I'm looking over at this guy. He's face first in his bucket, no hands, resting his forehead on his bucket, and the music's playing, and everyone's dancing and singing, and he's got his left foot tap it. Face first in the bucket, it's still dancing.
I know.
And I'm over there, and I got both feet up, and I'm shaking like a rap video, and I'm gyrating, and I'm like, this is hilarious. It's uncontrollable, the energy in the room, and when you really just let yourself go and let yourself be free, and let yourself be a child again. I had tears of joy.
Yes, I know.
I mean, there are other tears too, but tears of joy, like you're just...
Freedom's
free,
fun.
Yeah,
it is.
I mean, guys, you got to come to Rythmia and just do it yourself because, it is magical down here. You owe it to yourself to explore what's possible.
Yeah,
you don't have to be stuck in the mundane life.
You really don't have to be in pain.
No.
Like that's the thing. If you really take a look at it and you realize that almost everybody you meet on the street is in some kind of pain, and that they don't understand that pain that they're in is optional. Like it's like, fuck, I just want to speak to them. Like I just want to talk to them.
Yeah. You are right now.
Yeah, I know. Thank you for that. Yeah. But you just want to let people know that there's another way of being.
Yeah.
There's another way of being.
Yeah.
Like it's okay to be something else than what that is.
Yeah.
And
you can divorce your story.
Yeah. You can.
Yeah. Your self-limiting story has served its purpose, and you can let it go.
And you really can.
Yeah.
That's the thing. You really can.
Yeah.
So let's take a quick break. Sure. We'll hear from some of our awesome sponsors and some of the biohacks that have made this show possible, and then we'll come back with the rapid fire round.
Fantastic.
Beautiful.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks for doing this, man.
I love doing it.
Yeah,
it's so much fun.
This is great. Yeah. And we're back.
Okay, good.
Jerry Powell in the rapid fire round.
Gotcha. You thought we were going somewhere.
Oh, wait, we're going to take a minute break here.
No breaks.
Jerry, what movie or book changed your life?
That's a tough one. I mean, I liked as a younger guy, The Magic of Thinking Big was a great thing that helped me, and then Psychocybernetics, I thought was a real great book. The problem with that is that's all very conscious stuff that you read it, but the moment you take your mind off it, right, your programming takes over, and then unless you change that, it's rough, and it's hard to do it with a book.
Oh yeah,
it's like really hard.
Trying to get great at golf by reading a golf book.
That's so hard to do. Right? Yeah, I know. You're right about that too.
What healing tools or biohacks do you personally use besides the plant medicine?
The thing that I found is the craziest thing is food. Like the thing that has the most difference in how I feel is food. And if you can stay, I'm sure your crowd stays away from it, but forget the meat, non-meat debate. If you just stay away from anything that's processed, you're going to feel, your body's going to respond completely differently, right? So that's the greatest hack that I found.
That's a good hack.
It
seems simple, but if it's in a box, don't eat it.
Yeah, that's what I believe. Yeah.
What's Jerry's theme song?
What's my theme song? I can't drive 55. I don't know.
What makes you cry?
Seeing this, because, and it's every week that I get to cry. I get to see people leave themselves behind and walk into the light. And I think, of all people, to get to see, I didn't do anything to earn this, and I get to see this, and that makes me cry over grace, of the grace of it, to allow that to occur, and I cry all the time. All the time. I'm always crying. For real.
And just to your point, as men, we're taught we shouldn't cry.
I know.
Right? And
what a crock that is.
And Brad, Shaman Brad.
Amazing.
I love him. I call him Panda. He looks like Kung Fu Panda.
He's like an ice skating panda.
Yeah, it's
the
so
way that he moves through the room.
Yeah, and he's fanning everyone, But he said something to me last night. He goes, the tears are the water to the soul. You're watering the soul.
Yeah.
So cry, everyone. Let a good cry out. Don't fight it
I
anymore.
love him.
You know
What a guy he is, huh? What a fellow.
You got quite the staff here.
Yeah,
let's
they're
be honest.
good.
Like everyone is.
Pretty cool.
I don't know where you recruit them.
It's hard to get
universe.
them. Yeah.
What's the most embarrassing moment of your life?
The most embarrassing moment of my life is this is terrible, but I was having sex with someone, and their husband came home, and I had to leave my clothes in the snow and walk about 6 miles into one of my son's friend's house and explain what happened, because I got shot at. It's crazy, yeah.
Oh my! 6 miles. That's no jaunt around the block.
It was warm, but it was still snow on the ground and stuff. I had no shoes, no pants, no nothing.
Oh God!
And then to explain to my kids what happened, like I was, fuck, crazy, right? Yeah.
What are 3 things that you just can't live without?
I can't. Well, one of them is this place. I don't think I'd be able to survive without this place now, because it's changed me so much, right? My children, and my family, my family. So this place, my children, my family, and I'm pretty good. Yeah.
Jerry, this has been fantastic.
I'm so glad I got to chat with you guys.
So where can people find out more about Rythmia?
They can go to rythmia.com. It's rythmia.com. And please go to, if you don't believe any of this, go to TripAdvisor, and then look at RYTHMIA, and you'll see maybe 600 or 700 people all saying the same thing. It's enough to believe. Yeah.
And I do think for the Biohacking Secrets tribe, we have a coupon code Biohacks.
Oh, fantastic!
So if you guys want, we'll link to all that in the show notes. But go to rythmia.com and explore for yourself what's possible down here. Do you want to talk to just a little bit about the amenities? I know there's stem cells now you're offering too. If you want to keep that on the down low, we can. But
no, but that's okay. We do stem cells, farm to table food, organic food. There's the massages. There's a gym. There's hot and cold plunge pools with mud.
Volcanic
mud. There's the cleanse.
Yoga.
There's yoga. There's meditation. There's dance. There's a labyrinth.
Breath work,
which is. Dude, the breath work is crazy.
Breath work alone.
You should do the breath work after 4 days of medicine. Holy God!
I'm pretty sure we're
planning on it. Isn't that part of the program?
Tomorrow, yeah. And then there's the programming, the classes, all that, and more than anything, there's a sense of love that everybody who works here has done and gone through what you're going through, and that has such a different feeling to it. Yeah. So and just really to know that we're doing this to alleviate pain. This is the whole reason Rythmia is here. Yeah. And it really does. It alleviates pain.
Yeah, Jared, thank you so much for doing that.
Thank you guys. I appreciate your being kind enough to let me talk to your folks with it. Yeah.
You've created something truly magical and special, and it's transforming lives and through those lives the world.
I love that.
Appreciate it.
Thank you guys so much.
Love and light, everyone.
Thank you.